Good morning everyone. I am Dr. Mansi Ashta, a practicing physiotherapist. I welcome you all to this webinar. Today we are going to talk on strength training, a beneficial lifestyle change. On your screen on the left hand side below, you all can see a post a question tab. During the course of the presentation, you all can post in a question by clicking on this tab, which will be taken up after the presentation. Fitness is a hugely misunderstood concept and each individual has its own way of defining it. If someone is slim or disease free, don't we think that he or she is so fit? When we see a slim person running on the treadmill, the first thought that runs through our mind is, why is this person working so hard? How slim does he or she wants to get? On the other hand, if we see a woman lifting heavy weights, majority of us might think that why does she need to lift so heavy? She'll develop muscles and look manly. I'm sure most of us think this way, don't we? But the fact is that fitness comprises of 5 basic components and it's important to work on all of them. You may be a housewife, actor, corporate executive, athlete, teenager or a senior citizen. Your exercise programming should include specific group of exercises for all aspects of fitness. Let's try and understand about each of these 5 components. Firstly, let's talk about cardiovascular endurance and muscular endurance. Suppose you have to run to catch a train or a bus, or if you have to climb several floors. Can you do it without getting out of breath? If no, what you need is cardiovascular and muscular endurance, which means the ability of your heart, blood vessels, lungs and the working skeletal muscles to perform their task for an extended period of time without getting fatigue. Cardiovascular activities like walking, jogging, running, cycling, swimming fairly long distances, when done for a prolonged period of time, say minimum 20 minutes to an hour, will help you improve your cardiovascular endurance and muscular endurance. Coming to the next component, flexibility. How many of you can bend down to touch your toes comfortably? How many of you can reach out to a shelf at a height without discomfort? Is turning to get something from the back seat of the car easy, or you really have to struggle for it? Aren't you all curious to try these tasks? If you can perform them with ease and comfort, it suggests that you have a good flexibility. In a broader sense, it means the ability of the body to sustain full and complete range of motion around joints, for which the muscles need to be elastic and not stiff. A stretching routine will improve flexibility and thus prevent injuries as well. The 4th component of fitness is ideal body composition. It is the ability of an individual to maintain the ideal ratio of fat and muscle. For a given body weight, let's say 60 kgs, a man should not carry more than 15% fat and a woman should not carry more than 20% fat. So in the given scenario, it would mean that a man can afford to have 9 kgs of fat and a woman can afford to have slightly more, that is 12 kgs of fat. Now if I have 2 individuals, say 2 females with the same body weight and height, but female A looks out of shape and female B looks lean and in shape, then it definitely indicates that female B is fitter than female A. It should be remembered that weighing less on the weighing scale does not mean you are fit. What comprises of that body weight will decide your fitness status. So from now on, don't be curious to see a drop in the weighing scale. Rather, try to fit into that denim which is probably lying in your wardrobe since months. A proper diet and exercise program will help you achieve ideal body composition. Last but not the least, let's discuss about muscular strength. If a man can lift a heavy trunk, say around 100 kgs, and keep it on the loft, what impression would it give us? Won't most of us think that he is so strong? If a female can push a heavy cupboard, we all would be like, she is a strong woman, huh? Muscular strength is defined as the ability of the skeletal muscles or group of skeletal muscles to generate force in one maximal contraction. So if I am able to lift 50 kg of weight just once with maximum effort, it means that the muscle groups responsible for lifting that weight are strong enough to lift a load up to 50 kgs. If you want to be strong, you need to train to get strong. Through strength training, the strength of a given muscle group or group of muscles rather can be increased, which would also mean improvement in performance of day-to-day activities. What is strength training? Strength training is the use of resistance to muscle contraction to build strength. The resistance here is an external force against which the muscle contracts. Examples of external forces are gravity, weights. Weights can be in the form of dumbbells, barbells, plates, things that you often see on the gym floor, and resistance bands. If you aimlessly start lifting weights, it means nothing and you achieve nothing. An exercise could be termed as a strength training exercise if the resistance or the weight by which the muscle is challenged is high enough to fatigue the muscle within 3 minutes. So you can imagine the difficulty level. Strength training is not a cakewalk. The weight that you lift has to be challenging enough and yet capable enough for the muscles being trained. The intensity of muscle contraction, the force generated by the muscles during strength training exercises, is much higher than during cardiovascular activities. Since we now know what is strength training, it's time to know how it works to increase muscular strength. When we lift a weight which is challenging enough for the muscles and demands generation of greater amount of force, it causes wear and tear of the muscle at the cellular level, that is the deepest level of the muscle. In response to this wear and tear, the body starts the repair process. The body not only repairs the muscle but supercompensates for the wear and tear by increasing the size of the muscle cell, such that next time when the muscle is exposed to the same load, it will be less challenging for it. Due to this unique ability of the body to repair and supercompensate, the muscle gets stronger. So when the size of the muscle cell increases, the muscle gets stronger. If exercises that mimic our daily activities are chosen for strengthening program, it helps to improve functional strength. Functional strength is nothing but the usable strength. That is, the strength that can be used in our day-to-day activities, like pushing a heavy cupboard or pulling the bed or lifting a heavy trunk. All this determines one's functional strength. The examples of exercises which can help you gain functional strength are squats, rowing, overhead presses, deadlift, chest press, etc. If the principles of strength training are followed well, the results are fruitful and satisfying. For strength training to give optimal results, the way it is executed and planned is very important. As weeks pass by, each exercise should get intense without any compromise in the form and technique, that is the way it is executed, for which it is important to understand the basic principles of strength training. Scheduling. To gain benefits from strength training, it is important to have an exercise schedule. Just by going to the gym and lifting weights for any body part can actually be the reason for injuries in the future. An exercise schedule should include the list of effective exercises depending on the body part and how intensely and frequently they should be performed. And the repetitions and sets for each exercise has to be listed. Intensity here would mean the difficulty level. Repetitions is the number of times each movement of the given exercise is done. And sets refer to the number of times the particular exercise should be performed in that session. Frequency refers to how many training sessions are performed per week. For instance, doing 2 sets of bench press with 15 to 20 rep max once a week. This would mean that bench press is done twice in the session, and each time the movement is repeated minimum 15 times and maximum 20 times, and it is done once a week. Form and technique. Every exercise has a correct way of execution so that it is safe for the joints, muscles and ligaments of the body. Execution of an exercise is as important as scheduling for injury prevention and optimal results. Speed. Speed with which the exercise is performed, the tempo of the movement, has implications on the muscles. To make an exercise intense, one way is to reduce the time taken to finish it. For instance, if today a given exercise took 45 seconds for 20 repetitions, and in the next session, if the same exercise takes 35 seconds while performing the same repetitions, it would mean that the workload has been successfully increased. Progressive overload. This is one of the most important principles of strength training, in which the muscles are overloaded over a period of time by either increasing the speed to finish a particular exercise, or increasing the weight, or repetition, or the range of motion. For instance, let's take the example of squats. Squats is an exercise which mimics the act of sitting on the chair and getting up from the chair. If Rajesh used to perform free body weight half squats and manage 15 repetitions in 25 seconds, and now after few sessions if he can perform a full range squat with a small bar over the shoulder and manage 18 repetitions in 20 seconds, it means he has progressively overloaded his muscles used to perform squats. Proper nutrition. We have studied this in school. The building blocks of the body are proteins. Hence, adequate protein intake is required for the repair process after the wear and tear. Carbohydrates give us energy, so they are also important. Good fats coming from groundnut oil, olive oil, rice bran oil are equally important to maintain a healthy lipid profile. Strength training and proper nutrition go hand in hand for achieving desired results. Rest and recovery. Once the muscle suffers wear and tear, the repair process is initiated by the body almost immediately. But the repair and supercompensation to occur, a particular time frame is necessary. If the workout time is ignored, frequency of workouts, that is if you are training more than you should, or if you are not taking enough sleep, then it will be a hindrance to building up muscular strength, and the sole purpose of strength training will be lost. Here we have a sample exercise schedule for a rank beginner who has just taken up the gym membership. Now he has been given a full body workout. If you look at the schedule, 3 times a week have been devoted to weight training, that is strength training, and 3 times to cardiovascular training. The exercises are listed, the sets for each exercise are listed, and the repetitions that needs to be followed. Now let's take up the example of one exercise, say squats. Now this client has to do squats 2 times, and each time the repetition has to be between 20 to 25 rep max, which means that when he does a squat, that exercise should allow him minimum 20 repetitions and maximum 25 repetitions. If he falls short of 20 repetitions, it means the exercise is difficult for him. and if he crosses 25 repetitions, it means the exercise has become easy for him and it's time to progressively overload him so that he trains in the repetition of 20 to 25 rep max. One day has been devoted for rest, and this is how everyone's exercise schedule should be planned. 6 days of workout divided into 3 days of strength training, 3 days of cardiovascular training, and 1 day for rest. If your car has a wheel alignment problem, don't you get it corrected? Don't you send your car for service every few months? If the car is in reserve, don't you go to the pump to fill the fuel? I'm sure all of you do what's necessary, right? Like we take care of our car that it functions well, we need to take care of our body as well, so that it gives a good performance while doing strength training. Here are the 3 do's that you should follow before taking up strength training. It is important to go through a thorough assessment of the body by a physiotherapist or a senior fitness consultant. The assessment is basically a postural assessment where the client is briefed about any postural abnormalities, if present, and the care and measures to be taken for it. Flat feet is a very common postural abnormality. It has been associated with many problems like heel pain, knee pain, lower back pain. It is important to take corrective measures for it. As with strength training, you are going to increase the demand on your body and you do not want to put your body at a risk of any injury. History taking includes taking up the medical history. As a member of the gym, you should inform about your medical conditions to the senior fitness consultant. Medical conditions many times influence strength training, hence it should be well reported. For instance, a client with a history of ligament injury of the knee or a hypertensive client are to be trained with care. So until and unless you don't give the exact history, probably your training might go wrong. A proper diet plan. As explained earlier, a diet with balanced quantity of proteins, carbohydrates and fats should be planned. A nutritionist plans the diet keeping in mind the client's requirements and goals. Let's now understand the benefits of strength training. Strength training helps to achieve and maintain ideal body composition. As we saw in the very beginning, ideal body composition is the ideal ratio between fat and muscle. We have also understood how strength training helps to increase muscle size. Increase in muscle size would mean increase in lean body mass, that is your muscle mass. Muscle being the most active tissue in the body will utilize more energy, that is more and more calories are burned even at rest. And that's how strength training helps to lose fat and preserve the most important tissue, that is muscle. Strength training improves functionality. If your exercise program includes exercises that mimic day-to-day activities, it will definitely have a carryover effect on functionality. For instance, deadlift is an exercise where you lift the load from the floor and keep it down. If you train your muscles by performing such an exercise, the task of lifting heavy loads is safe and your muscles are strong enough to take up the challenge. Strength training reduces the risk of osteoporosis. Osteoporosis is softening of bones, which increases the risk of fractures. When you do strength training, you not only put increasing demands on your muscles, but you also put stress on the bones. The bones under stress demands more calcium and vitamin D. If your diet is in place and you are well supplemented with calcium and vitamin D, then the bones absorb this available calcium and vitamin D from the blood and thus get strong, and hence reduce the risk of osteoporosis. Strength training improves posture. Posture is the attitude of one's body. The way you stand, sit, walk is unique to you. Abnormal posture leads to many problems like back pain, knee pain, neck pain. To be in an ideal posture requires strength and balance between muscle groups, which is possible through strength training. Strength training along with flexibility training helps to improve posture. Strength training delays the progression of degenerative changes. Walking, climbing stairs, working continuously on the laptop for hours, these are the few activities that are like a part of our daily routine. These activities put tremendous stress on our joints, which can bring about early degeneration. If we strengthen the surrounding muscles, the stress coming on the joints is reduced considerably. Strong muscles will definitely delay the progression of degenerative changes. Strength training delays the risk of injury. Would you dare to lift a heavy baggage if you are not strong? Would you attempt to pull the bed if you even have a little doubt about injuring yourself? At least I won't dare if I don't have strong muscles. The risk of injury is high if you don't have strong muscles and you attempt taking up such a task. Aging also makes your muscles weak. A strength training program at any age will make you strong and thus reduce the risk of injury. Strength training is the main tool for injury rehabilitation. After injuries, what is required is to strengthen the surrounding muscles. Even if it's a muscle injury, strengthening is very important to prevent degeneration of the joints. So strengthening thus becomes the main tool for injury rehabilitation. Through strength training, you can regulate your blood sugar levels. If you are a diabetic, diabetes is an increase in the blood sugar level, that is, there is free glucose in the blood. We know by now that strength training increases the muscle size. Muscles store glucose in the form of glycogen. When we have increased the size of the muscle cell through strength training, it would mean that we have increased the storage area for the free glucose in the muscle. This will automatically help in regulation of blood sugar level. It has been proven that strength training increases the insulin sensitivity, which also helps in regulating blood sugar level. So through strength training, you increase the size of the muscle, more storage area, and the free glucose can go and get a good storage area into the muscle, and thus regulation of blood sugar level. Strength training can help a pregnant woman cope through her pregnancy. Pregnancy brings about many changes in a woman. With the increasing weight, the back is under tremendous stress. The act of labor requires the woman to push hard using the abdominal muscles. Strong muscles will help her cope with the stress coming on the back. It will help her cope with labor. Strengthening program in a pregnant woman is not supposed to exhaust her. There is a different exercise guideline for a pregnant woman which needs to be followed. Lastly, strength training plays a very important role in musculoskeletal pain management. You may have slip disc, knee pain, back pain, neck pain, be it any musculoskeletal problem for that matter. The main idea would be to strengthen the surrounding muscles. Muscles being the support system of the body, strong muscles will support you better, which means there will be less stress on the affected joint, which will definitely thus reduce your pain. So these are the following benefits of strength training. We have come to the end of the presentation. I would now be taking up your questions. Okay, I have a question from Salim from Hyderabad, and the question is, will strength training make a woman unfeminine? Mr. Salim, men and women look different due to hormonal factors. Men predominantly have the hormone testosterone and females have the hormone estrogen. Now, because of these hormonal factors, a female can never build muscle the way a man can build. In fact, because of high levels of estrogen in a female tends to carry more fat and less muscle. So nothing short of hormonal intervention can make a woman look like a man. So no activity, let alone weight training or strength training, can make a woman look like a man. The next question is from Abha from Calcutta, and she's asked me, when can I start expecting results? You can start expecting results after about say 3 months at least. Give your body some time. You did not get out of shape instantly, so do not expect to get into shape instantly as well. The first month goes into just learning the correct form and the technique of the exercise. Only after that can we go on to progressive overload and increase your intensity to make a difference. Then I have a question from Jigna, and she has asked me, by which exercise weight reduction happens, through cardio or through machines? Jigna, be it cardio or be it machines, like I explained in the beginning of the presentation, that we have to focus on 5 components of fitness. All of them will together make you fit, they will make you lose weight, they will make you get back into shape. Cardio will help you develop cardiovascular endurance, strength training will make you strong, and like I explained in the benefits about ideal body composition, when you're carrying more muscle meaning you have more active tissue in the body, it will make you burn more calories, and definitely the weight reduction will be a lot with strength training as compared to cardiovascular training. Then I have a question from Parag. I am 39 years, 180 centimeter, 85 kgs and 24% fat composition. I have not done serious weight training before. Will it help at this age without any risk? Why not? There is no right age or wrong age to start weight training. And since you have mentioned that you have not done serious weight training ever, you should give it a shot, and it will definitely give you a lot of benefits, whatever benefits we have discussed. So you should definitely go ahead and start strength training. I have a question from Munira, and she's asked me, can I exercise during periods? Yes, you can. If you are not in pain, if the volume of blood loss is excessive, then it may cause excess weakness during periods. And it would be advisable that you do not work out at least during the first 3 days. And of course, if you are supplemented well with iron and folic acid, then there shouldn't be any problem. But if you have excessive flow and you feel weak, you should avoid working out at least for the first 3 days. Then there's a question from Aman from Baroda. Should I do machines or free weights? If you're looking out for functional strength, free weights would definitely be a better choice as compared to machines. Then there are few exercises which have a limitation and you have to use a machine for it. So for that you can choose machines. So your workout generally, your exercise schedule generally has to be a mix of machines and free weights. But free weights would definitely give you more advantage because it is more functional to use a free weight exercise and get the functional benefit out of it. So just see to it that whenever you choose an exercise program, it is always a mix of machines and free weights. And wherever you have an option of going free weights, always choose free weights over machines. Then there's a question from Shivani from Noida. Should I do cardio first or weights first? Ideally, Shivani, like we had a sample exercise schedule before you all, your exercise program should be divided into cardio and weights on separate days. That is, 3 times a week you should try and manage cardio, and 3 times a week you should try and manage weights. It wouldn't be a great idea to mix your cardio and weight training. But if for some reason you do not have time to work out so often, then what you should do is to opt for weights first and then go on to your cardio training. Akhil from Mumbai has asked, is weight training and strength training different from each other? No, they are not different from each other. When you take up strength training, what you are doing is actually weight training. You are lifting weights, you are training with weights, so they are actually not different, they are the same. Shweta from Pune has asked, isn't it true that heavy lifting can cause slip disc? No, it is absolutely not true that heavy lifting can cause slip disc, provided your form, your technique is completely set, there is no fault at it, only then you are safe by lifting heavy weights and not causing any such issue. Parag again has asked, does protein supplements help in resistance training? Are they a must or nice to have? Mr. Parag, protein supplements. The word supplement means that you are taking up something in your diet which probably your diet is not providing you. So if your diet is short of proteins, you definitely need a protein supplement. So protein supplements should be taken whether you are doing cardio training or whether you are doing resistance training, because proteins are the building blocks of the body. Wear and tear happens in your body even if you are not working out. So protein is definitely a must to be taken for anyone. And when you are doing resistance training, since the demand is more, the protein intake is also supposed to be more. So if your diet cannot provide you enough proteins, protein supplements should be taken, and then it becomes a must have. Salman from Agra has asked, won't longer workouts make me stronger? This is not true. If your workout generally lasts for more than 1.5 hours, you may land up overtraining, which could be a very dangerous thing, as in you can have injuries because of it. So if you keep exercising too long, you will generally have low energy levels and probably be more prone to injury. So your workout ideally should not last more than 1.5 hours. Chandru from Bangalore, I had come to the gym for some time and had a break in between. Can I start off again? If you have had a break longer than 10 to 15 days, then you need to exercise at a lesser intensity for the first week at least. To prevent your body from getting excessively sore, you should reduce the intensity for the first few weeks. If you've had a break for as long as months or more than your fitness program, it needs to be reviewed again. You have to show your previous exercise schedule to the fitness trainer or to the senior fitness consultant, and there has to be a proper structured planned exercise schedule, again customized and made for you. Shweta from Pune has asked, I have heard that strength training reduces flexibility. Is it true? No, Shweta, it is not true that flexibility reduces because of strength training. These both things, strength training or muscular strength and flexibility, are different components of fitness. So strength training will definitely not reduce your flexibility, provided you are doing a good flexibility program after your workouts, which will take into account of your flexibility. Meghna from Baroda has asked, I don't want to build muscle. Do I still need to do strength training? Dear Meghna, you need to understand that we are focusing on getting fit. I'm sure you want to get fit. So it is not about building muscle, it is about getting fit. And through the 5 components of fitness, we have learned that cardiovascular endurance, muscular strength, flexibility, ideal body composition, all of these 5 components make you fit. So strength training is very important to develop muscle strength. So you have to do strength training, and it is not about building muscle, it is just about getting fit. Abhishek from Pune has asked, I have never exercised before, how do I start? So what if you have never exercised, Abhishek? It's never too late to start. You can take a membership in your nearest gym, give your medical history, get your postural assessment done, get your diet customized and planned for you, meet a fitness trainer or a senior fitness consultant, get your workout planned, and there you are. You can start your training and you don't have to think twice for it. Abhijit from Mumbai has asked, what is the ideal rep range? Should I work out with high repetitions or low repetitions? Abhijit, repetitions will determine your intensity level. It will determine how difficult is your exercise program. So if you're training at high repetition, it would mean that you are training at a low intensity. That is, the weight that you're lifting is probably not very challenging enough for your muscles. Because when we studied about muscular strength, it was the maximum effort in one shot by your muscles. So at one go, the maximum amount of muscle contraction takes place. So that is like the maximum strength level that your muscle has. So the closer you are to your 1 rep max, that is to that one maximum effort, the higher is your training intensity. So if you're training at low repetitions, like say 8 repetitions, 6 repetitions, you're actually training hard. But if you're training at repetitions like 20, 25, you are not training enough, you're not training hard enough rather to get the benefits. So when you start off, you definitely start off with a high repetition, but as you progress, we saw the principles of strength training, so you progressively overload your muscles and you go on to the low repetition range to get the exact and the effective benefits of strength training. Shivani from Surat has asked, is it safe to do strength training in pregnancy? Shivani, before you take up strength training, it is very important that you consult your gynecologist. Let her give you the green signal to go about strength training. So you shouldn't be having any complications in your pregnancy before you take up strength training. If you are new to strength training, then of course for the first 3 months you should not be exercising. From the 4th month to the 9th month you can definitely exercise. Your strength training program will be definitely a very light intensity workout wherein we do not let you exhaust, we do not let you reach fatigue. It's just a very normal basic exercise routine, and whatever little strength gains you will have because of that strength training program during your pregnancy will definitely reflect in your labor process, as in you will have a very easy labor. And if you have been exercising before, then your body is already used to and it is adapted to a kind of exercise program, so you can take up exercise to a little higher intensity and you will be able to manage very, very well. But the main idea in pregnancy is that the exercise should not exhaust you. You should keep sipping water during the workout, and in case you feel any aches and pains or any discomfort, you should stop the workout then and there. Shivan from Chennai has asked, is it safe to do strength training with osteoarthritis of the knee. Shivan, I believe you know osteoarthritis of the knee is the degenerative condition of the knee, where your knee has rubbed against each other and it is a cause of pain and discomfort. Your movements probably will be a little compromised. When you take up strength training, you target on strengthening the muscles around the knee, and like I explained in the benefits of strength training, since the muscles are the support system of your body, when your muscles are strong enough, it will support the knee joint very well. The knee joint will be under less stress. Less stress meaning the knee joint will not rub against each other too much, and the load coming on the knee joint will be not much, and definitely your pain will reduce, your functionality will improve, and you will have great benefits if you start up strength training. But yes, your strength training program has to have a very gradual overload progression. There has to be some exercises which probably you cannot do, like lunges or step-ups. So I am sure you would definitely consult a fitness consultant before taking up the strength training program. Shekhar from Chennai has asked, I have blood pressure. Can I exercise vigorously? You need to get a physician's clearance before you take up strength training, and you can start with the gradual exercise program, take up light weights, and your breathing has to be very well controlled, as in generally when we exercise, whenever we have to exert, we exhale out. So your breathing has to be in good control, no mistakes coming over there. And there are few exercises which are generally not allowed for a blood pressure patient, like the overhead movements of the shoulder or inverted leg press machine. So such exercises can be avoided. So your fitness consultant would definitely plan a good workout for you. But keeping in mind that you are a hypertensive patient, your exercise has to be low in intensity to begin with. Faraz has asked, how long should my strength training session last in duration? 1.5 hours is the maximum that you should be training. If your training sessions are even like as short as 30 minutes to 45 minutes, there is not a problem. As long as you are covering the effective exercises in your exercise program, you are ready to go. But the maximum time limit would be 1.5 hours to complete a nice, good, effective exercise program. Which is the best exercise to strengthen our ab muscles? We have exercises like crunches, plank, twisting crunches, reverse crunches, rotations of the trunk. These are the exercises which probably would be like, alien words to you, but if you list these exercises to your fitness trainer or to your fitness consultant, they will definitely be able to help you in performing those exercises and get good results out of it. So forward crunches, reverse crunches, plank, twisting crunches, rotation of the trunk are very good exercises to build strength in your abdominal muscles. How can we build muscle and lose fat? Like explained in the presentation, when you lift heavy weights or when you are into a strength training program, you bring about wear and tear in the muscle. The body repairs for the wear and tear. It super compensates, in fact. That's a very unique ability that our body has. So through that super compensation, the cell of your muscle increases in size. Your muscle mass has increased because of that. When you are carrying more muscle, meaning you have more active tissue in the body. Now you may be sitting watching this webinar, your muscles are still acting. So muscle is the most active tissue in the body. So when you have more muscle, that means your muscles will be utilizing more energy. When you're utilizing more energy, you're burning more calories, and that's how you lose fat. So the best way of losing fat would be developing or building up muscles. Shekhar has asked, what is the best exercise for me if I am over 50? There is no such exercise that is best. Like we have covered in the presentation, you have to focus and work on all the 5 components of fitness. Looking at your age, probably you may have a little compromised resistance training, that is your strength training workout, but you should very well remember that you have to focus on all 5 components. So you can choose walking for your cardiovascular exercise, a light intensity strength training for your strengthening program. Flexibility should be a part of your workout after cardio sessions and after strength training sessions, and of course a good diet, a planned customized diet for you will help you get your ideal body composition as well. Thank you all. That was the end of the question answer session. I hope I have been able to convey the message well. For any information, please visit our website www.talwalkars.net. Like us on www.facebook.com/talwalkarsindia. Follow us on www.twitter.com/mytalwalkars. Thank you all.